On our way to the co-op to get a load of nitrogen. We got a tanker load out there in the big tanks, but this nitrogen is gonna go on a share rented farm, and it's easier to just go up there to co-op and weigh and let co-op bill it out directly to the landlord, as opposed to me having to do the billing out. May notice something a little different today. We shuffled some equipment around, and it just so happened that old Blue ended up on the water trailer. So we're gonna try old Blue out on the water trailer. Had to fix a flat on the water trailer. Got some new treads on old Blue. Changed your mind about eating candy. Your tummy hurts. That's what happens when you drink chocolate milk and eat 2 corn dogs for lunch. Let's go to the tanks and get some diesel fuel. Buy diesel today for the low price of $4.89 a gallon. I'm so sick of my Facebook feed. It ain't nothing but people posting gas prices. Like, what are you gonna do? Run without it? Hell, just shut up, take it in the rear end like we always do, and go on. Ain't no sense in complaining about it. You gotta have it. We got weighed in, now we're filling her up. Gonna put her in the front tank. Kind of a self-serve situation around here today. Look at her, 2 inch. Batting 100 today, except for the little Ford tractor not acting right. It ain't water, this is 32% nitrogen. At least I hope that's what it is.
I want the water in it. What's the water for it?
Maybe the old hose there will work. Kind of got some natural gravity feed right now going on. We're pumping our nitrogen supplement into a 32%. Don't pay no attention to that. That ain't what it is. So I'll make this speech again because the pump was running, and I want to make sure y'all hear this. For years, ever since I started farming, when we've been side dressing our wheat, I've been putting a quart of stuff called Sulfur Plus in my nitrogen each application. And I mean, I've been happy with the results. We run another nitrogen source one year called 28004, which is 28% nitrogen, 4% sulfur. I wasn't exactly happy with it. A lot of people rave about how great it was. I was not real impressed. One reason is you just got to run so many more gallons of it versus your 32%. So I got to looking and doing some research this year, and I found a product called Access, and it is 17% nitrogen versus the versus Sulfur Plus only being 10% nitrogen. I mean, versus Sulfur Plus only being 10% sulfur. And it was quite a bit cheaper. I mean, a lot cheaper. Where you was looking at, I can put out a whole gallon of Access for the same money I can put out a quart of Sulfur Plus for, and get the same get more sulfur for my buck. And that's why you really need to do your own research. I mean, I'm not saying I got bad advice when I started farming, because I've been happy with it. I've been happy with the results. But you always need to check it, because sometimes you may find the same, sometimes if you research it, you can get more bang for your buck. So in this nitrogen application that we're going to be putting out, we're going to be putting out about 5 to 6 pounds of sulfur. So we're out here in the wheat field looking and checking. And, you know, we made that previous application of 3/4 of an ounce of Harmony. And we're out here looking at the hen bit. And it don't look like that Harmony affected that hen bit one bit. Leaves may be drawed up a little bit, but pretty disappointing. I wanted to run a newer product called Culex that we had really good results with last year, but as freaking this new norm that we have, I couldn't find any Culex to run, so we had to go with the older product called Harmony at 3/4 of an ounce. I mean, I see a little yellowing some in it. Leaves looks kind of like it's drawed up, but not very happy with that. We ran 4 ounces of Topaz, which is a fungicide, and 1.6 ounces of Grizzly, which is a insecticide. So we're out here looking at this weight. You can pretty well actively see it growing every day. We're fixing to put our second shot of nitrogen on it. We're going to be running 26 gallons of product total. Going to be running 23 gallons of 32% nitrogen and 3 gallons of excess, which is our sulfur. Nitrogen is kind of like the fuel in your car. It's what drives your plant and gives it energy. And you want to make sure you got your car, you need to make sure it's got a full tank of gas. Now there's a line you kind of walk with nitrogen. You can either, if you put too much of it on there, you'll be, its weight will lay down on you, and you'll have to be picking it up off the ground with your header. Which last year, where the weight was laid down, we saw some awesome yields. Numbers I never thought was possible on wheat, which we had a really good year with wheat last year. But nitrogen and sulfur act together in the plant. They're pretty intertwined on their interactions. That's pretty much all I got to say about nitrogen and sulfur. We're fixing to just run it. I try to put things in layman's terms for people. But somebody was asking about my row spacing. Yes, my row spacing is jacked up. Last fall, I'll put a card in the corner for the video. The back tube on our drill broke and we had to replace the tube. And when we hung the units on it, we started out right, but somewhere down the line, we got off on our measurements. So these rows is like probably got a 5-inch row and then a 10-inch row, a 5-inch row, and a 10-inch row. I don't think it's going to cut into yields that much. There are some guys around here planting 15-inch row wheat, or actually that's down towards south of us planting 15-inch row wheat, and they seem to be happy with it. So I don't think it's going to affect yield. It's just looks kind of jacked up. So if you ask about my row spacing, that's what's going on. We ain't trying nothing special. Look at me, Grace.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Grayson.
I got a rider I don't normally have with me. This little Miss Grace.
I don't know that from.
Everybody say you're so jealous.
I I got that from right in town. With Nick Clifton. I can do it.
Alright, are you going home with your mama or are you staying with me?
Well, we going home with my mama too, but that's for me too.
Bye, Grace.
Bye.
Filling her up for the day. We had one more heck of a hard day yesterday. Just didn't, anything we did, just didn't want to act right. It was Wednesday, but it felt like a Monday. We worked on a little Ford tractor, put the water pump on it, and the old tractor ran good for, I don't know, for about 30 minutes, and then it started pulling the stun it pulled. When we first got it cranked back up for the first time, it run, I don't know, it run about 5 minutes or so and then shut off and act like it's out of fuel. Only thing I know to do is pull the carburetor off of it and look in there one more time. We're getting good fuel flow to the carburetor. So we're gonna have to take a look at it, see what's going on. Well, anyways, you know, and it was drizzling yesterday morning, so that put us about 6 hours behind where we wanted to be. So we didn't start to get to fill up with nitrogen till after lunch and start running. We didn't start running till about 4 o'clock running nitrogen. So we're gonna try to run today. We're out here filling up with, you got to be kidding me. What the absolute hell. I don't know what's going on with that pump. It'll run good about 10 minutes and then it'll quit. It's just, I don't know. We worked on that sun gun yesterday afternoon. I worked on it this morning. I drained the gas out of the tank. Cleaned the carburetor up. Carburetor really wasn't that dirty. That'll be the last of the $520 nitrogen. It'll be this I called and priced yesterday is gonna be $670 a ton. So it went up $150 a ton since the last I bought. It probably ain't the best form, and I wouldn't recommend doing this. But I've gotten to where if I got an old motor giving me trouble like that, instead of yanking on it 5 million times, I just go get that drill and get a socket to fit that nut in there and turn it with that drill. And you got an electric start. It sure saves on the arm. But we finally got all the nitrogen pumped out of the tank. It only took 2 days, but we got it done. Like Robert said yesterday, the simplest of tasks around here turns into the biggest ordeal you've ever seen. And the complicated, seems like we don't have trouble with complicated stuff. That's how the joists work. If y'all hadn't watched by now, we're right backwards to the way everybody else does. Gotta pull up here and get a little red Kool-Aid put in the sprayer. Tank of fuel probably spray. Depends on how much road travel we got to do that day. Tank of fuel spray 300 or 400 acres pretty easy. And that ain't a very big tank. Let's go in here and check on the corn dog. This is his hideout. or this is his. This is where he spends most of his day. He likes to sit down here and look at the hogs. These little spotted hogs been real good hogs so far. They've been growing off really well. Got one runt, but these big white spotted pigs, they ain't that old. They're growing off really good. Corn Dog says he's changing his name to Corn Muffin. Why is that name going over better with the ladies, or how come you're changing it to Corn Muffin?
Well, I like it.
Cause you like it?
Right?
Do the women like it?
Probably no.
Probably no.
Right?
Okay guys, another day, another dollar. Fixing to ease over to the field. We're going to the far side of town. I normally like to try to keep on my weight. Normally like to try to keep all my weight close to the house, just such a simple fact. We spray it so many times these days. But I mean, and it still ain't that far where we're going. But it's probably, I don't know, 15-minute drive in a sprayer. So we're heading to the east side of town. We're gonna start working our way back home. That's normally what we do. We go to the furthest away location and work our way back to the house. That way, when you get done at the day, you're tired, you ain't gotta drive the sprayer home. No wasted fertilizer. You can't waste that stuff at like $2.88 a gallon. Are we gonna do like we do the hazard and jumping? Oh, get the phone off, Dylan. Hold on, this will get bumpy. Gotta change my fields and everything. Told y'all I worked some rough ground. Alright, we gotta go to the field. We're finished with the field. We got to select the name. Blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. Ready to rock and roll. I can go through the screens pretty fast. I've operated that thing an hour or two. So I've got 2 rates programmed into my monitor here. One is 26 gallons to the acre, and the other is 20. And what I'm doing with the 20 gallons per acre rate is there are certain areas in the field that stay wet and stuff. I know they don't have the potential to make, you know, 85 bushel or so, kind of like what we're shooting for. I don't have as lofty a goals as some people on wheat. But, what I'm doing with that 20 gallon an acre rate is these areas of the field that I know won't produce, I run 20 gallons an acre on versus the 26 on the better ground. And I think I figured up that 32% this year is $2.88 a gallon, and that's versus that's based on the cheaper price that I bought it at. So, you know, just say roughly, you know, 6 times almost $3, that's $18 an acre savings. And I know that wheat in those areas aren't going to make it, so why put the nutrients out if they ain't going to use them? So that's why I've got those 2 rates. And I mean, I could buy, slow down a little bit, I could buy a variable rate unlock for this monitor and write a prescription for it. But we got to, we've got to get some more yield data collected on our wheat to make some better yield maps. That way I could make a good prescription. And prescription, by what I mean prescription, is just like a prescription that a doctor writes out for you. It tells this monitor how much, how many nutrients this field needs at a specific location in the field. The good areas get more and the sorry areas get less. And that's a layman's way of saying what a prescription is. We're not running any prescriptions yet. We're slowly gearing up, getting our technology geared up to start doing that one of these days. You could also call it variable rate, because you vary the rate of fertilizer you put over the field. Now we do have variable rate maps for fertilizer. We can give them to the co-op if we let them spread it, and they can put it into their machine, which they run your machinery, and vary the rate of dry fertilizer across the field. When we done all our zone sampling on our soil test and made our zones out for our fields, we did not have near the variability and fertility as I thought we would. Got a wet spot here. The biggest variable I saw on the soil test was lime. And everybody I've talked to says that's where a variable rate really pays for itself, is spreading your lime. And we're gonna have to get a lime truck lined up here. I think we're gonna have several acres to spread this fall. I don't know how well it'll show up in the camera there, but you can see where I run my first shot of nitrogen. I put out 10 gallons an acre, and I just made a round around that little field. And I kind of left that center out for a check. To see what just one shot of 26 will do versus adding the 10 up front, see if it made any difference. There's a color difference right now. I'm gonna see if I can't ease down the side there beside the outlet pipe, spray this little field, go up there and then back up at the truck. We'll see if that works out. Because I know I don't have enough to finish it. There's 31, 32 acres here, and with the rate I'm applying, we're not getting over, I think we're getting over 28 acres. That is one good thing about nitrogen. Most of the time you ain't got to pump nothing in. All you got to do is hook the hose up, turn the motor on, and go to pumping. Walk around and stretch your legs a few minutes. In case you was wondering what it takes to fill this sprayer up, it holds 750-ish gallons. So 750 gallons, that is $2,166 we're putting in that sprayer for 28 acres. $77 an acre. Kinda wish I hadn't figured that up. I'm just a little sick. You think with this crap being so high, we wouldn't pull crap like this? I guess we never learn. You just gotta get every little bit you can in it. Let Robert get eased up out the way there and I'll start running. Don't want to side swap them. I'm so proud of that trailer. Ain't no telling how much fuel we're saving with that trailer this year. Alright, here we go again. Well, we're on our last field here. I'm unfolding the booms. Probably the thing I hate the most about spraying is folding and unfolding the booms. Some of these little fields, it seems like that's all I do. There's not but 6 acres in this field. This little old field I'm in come a long way. We cleaned it up and went around the fence row and pushed in an old pond. Used to be an old hog lot. Years and years ago, this was my wife's granddaddy's place. This wheat behind the beans is some of the best looking wheat I got, in my opinion. Definitely got the best color to it. Good dark green color. So something we done different this year that we hadn't, been doing. In the past we've been running 30 to 35 gallons. This year we're putting more nitrogen out. It's higher. Nitrogen's higher, but we still put more nitrogen out. I did that because I know everywhere last year that I had put a little extra nitrogen out by accident. Really made the wheat, made a lot better wheat. So we're upping our nitrogen program. Putting 10 gallons on the first shot back in January. Like I said, this shot we're putting 26 out for a total of 36 gallons today. Now, some of that is my sulfur. But we're looking at about, I gotta get the calculator out, but I think last I figured we're about 115 units of nitrogen plus our sulfur supplement's got some nitrogen in it. So we should be right there around that 120 unit mark of nitrogen. I was talking to y'all and I forgot to shift my line, but that's okay. I can get on this set of tracks and shift my line over to where we're at, turn my auto steer on and run in. One advantage to the auto steer is I can monitor what I'm doing so much better. Watch my boom height and my rate and stuff like that. Get y'all some different angles. Right here's the procedure I do when I get to the end of the field. Reach up here, turn my auto steer off. I also have a foot pedal I can do that with. Flip my boom sections off. I don't have to do that step, but that keeps from wasting nitrogen on the ends. If I get the boom up in the fence row, it ain't spraying nitrogen up in the fence row. Get back on my line, engage the auto steer, sit here and ride her to the other end. Which in this field, that ain't very long. Right over in here on the other side of the fence where I was doing my running the track hole about 2 weeks ago. Right here where I'm at right now, you can see it's a little rough. There was that's where the old hog pond was. So I was talking in the other video about section control. Right here, this is how the section control works. And that saves you money, because all this over here that had already been sprayed would be getting sprayed if I didn't have that. And you waste a bunch of chemical like that. And as high as nitrogen is these days, you don't need to be wasting nitrogen. And see right here, all where it's cutting them off, all that would be wasted nitrogen if we did not have this section control. Well, that's a wrap for the day. Robert's out here washing the nitrogen in the mud off the sprayer. That nitrogen has a lot of salt in it, so it's pretty corrosive, and it's pretty important that you get it washed off the sprayer. You can usually tell the sprayers pretty quickly that being that sprayed a lot of 32%, and you can definitely tell the ones that have not been washed after spraying 32%. The old girl's tired, but I believe she's got a few years left in her yet.